Hello everyone and welcome to Bevan's Bricks. I know I'm a little late. I apologize. I seem like I'm always late lately. Trying to get everything open. My intention tonight, sadly, I wanted to do some modifications on one of the other Lego Winter Village sets, but the next one that I wanted to modify, sadly, I don't have the parts to modify it the way I wanted to, and it was going to be the fun one. It was the Santa Village. I'm short 3 parts that I really want to use for the windows. So I decided, because I went ahead and ordered them, I decided to go ahead and build this tonight in the live stream. Art Claxton, Axel, Aaron DeLilo, Kip Hoffman, Elijah, hello. I hope you guys are all awesome. Hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. For those that celebrate it, let me get something to open up this box. Where is my, there it is. This particular set, for those that are not aware, this was, if I remember correctly, let me double check, it should have been 2019, and nope, it was 2020. So this is the 2020 Elf Clubhouse. And R. Claxton, thank you so much, buddy. That was awesome of you to donate that. And I never got word from Brett on what he would want, but I want to make sure I get you a free product. Tonight, I decided I was going to make it the first person that donated. So, R. Claxton, and thank you so much for the $5 donation as well. Let me know whether or not you want to pick the 4-in-1 light, the Infinity Gauntlet set. Again, that was the 4-in-1, or the Monster Hutter set, and I will make sure I get that mailed out to you. Thank you so much for donating, buddy. You are awesome. And again, get a hold of me after I'm done live streaming. And I still need Brett to get a hold of me if he happens to log in tonight, because he never told me what he wanted. Blinky Bricks, how are you? And Axel's asking me what is my favorite Star Wars set. As far as the ones I own, I'm going to have to say the Death Star is probably my favorite set. They have so many good sets, though. It's really hard to pick a favorite. Star Wars is one of my favorite themes, and I do have a lot of sets that I absolutely love when it comes to Star Wars. But I would say, as far as everything that I have built and all the sets that I own, definitely the Millennium Falcon. And thank you so much for that donation, Axel. I really appreciate that. Axel just donated $1.99 as well, and everything helps, man, so thank you so much. Aaron says that looks like a really good set. To me, it looks amazing. I still thought this was a 2019 set, though. I don't know why it says 2020. Because oh, you know what? I'm thinking of the wrong year. So I guess it is 2020. Because 2021 was the new blue house, and 2022 is the new blue house, and 2021 is the other set. But either way, both of those are still available right now. Let me figure out what bags to build. That's number 1. Oh, dude, Aaron, yes. He says he's looking forward to getting his hands on the Eiffel Tower. I already ordered it. I couldn't resist. I ordered it this morning. Was the first day that I could personally, and we're not going to, oh, this is bags number 1, so we don't even need that yet. I personally couldn't wait, so I jumped right on it and did it. So I have it on the way, because I think I have some ideas for the Eiffel Tower in my city already, and to me, most cities, I don't know that would look right in most people's cities. Not that people can't do it or shouldn't do it, but most Lego cities, they have all the modular buildings and smaller buildings. So I don't know that it'll necessarily look right. I'm not insulting anybody, but with my city's so huge, I thought, you know what? This is the first time they had what I would consider to be like a USC set that I personally could build and use in a display. And I thought, I can't pass that up. I have to buy it. So this morning, I pulled the trigger and I bought the Eiffel Tower. It should be here in just a few days. And I cannot wait to get it, because I think it's going to look really cool. I'm wanting to put it and have my train track run under it. I think that's going to be a really interesting feature. And then, of course, like anything in my city, I will be lighting it up. And with part of my plan being getting rid of a lot of the official Lego modular buildings out of my city and making a totally separate display underneath my table, I thought this would be the perfect way because the footprint of that building is so huge. With where I'm wanting to mount it, it will take away the need for at least a minimum of 3, if not 4, of the Lego modular, or I'm sorry, at least 6, if not 8 of the Lego official modular buildings that I already have placed in my city. As far as Aaron was saying, he thought it was the biggest set to date. I'm not sure it's the biggest, it's the tallest. I do know it's the tallest Lego set ever made, ever sold anyway. But I don't know if it's the biggest. But it is a very expensive set, Carol. I will agree with you. $629 is what I got it for. That set, one of the reasons that I wanted it, because I'm big on getting the gift with purchase stuff, and I love Gustafson's office. And if you bought it today through the 30th or 28th or whatever it is of this month, you get that gift with purchase, and I love having all the gift with purchases, so I made sure I bought that. And Art Claxton says he's building Santa's sleigh. You know, I did not think of that. I have that to build also, and I already have all the extra reindeer. I probably should have done that today myself. And Aaron says it'll definitely fit in my city for sure. And that was my thought when I saw it. That it's the first time, like I said, that they've made such a massive set. Because I'll give you another example. One of the sets that they had, was it last year, I think, when it came out? The Coliseum, but it was micro scale, mind you. I had kind of considered buying that to put in my city, but I thought, you know, I don't know if that would necessarily look right. And I'm still on the fence. I'd still thought about possibly buying it and putting it as a ruin somewhere in my city, because to me it would fit in, but I almost feel like it might be too small. Mind you, I've never built that, so I'm not 100% certain. But that is another set that I have thought about or considered buying as well, that I thought might kind of fit in with the way that my city looks anyway. And what are we doing here? I swear to God, I feel like I'm getting blind anymore. That's what I wanted. David Dunnigan says he still has the office set and the castle to build. It's big enough that it's very possible it could take a week to build. I mean, it is 10,000 pieces in total, so it's definitely a large project. I don't know that I will be in a hurry to build it, keep in mind. I have a lot of other projects. I finally got the pieces I was waiting for to get back to working on my Flatiron buildings. That's like one of my big priorities right now personally, is I really want to get that Flatiron building going. And I finally got some of the parts I was waiting on today, so I'm really excited about that. And that is probably where I'm going next. I'm still trying to do these Christmas sets in between, because I want to get all the Christmas stuff done before Christmas, because I was wanting to try and see if I couldn't do some type of small display, but I kind of started a little late doing them, so I don't know if I'll be able to get them all or not. I'm going to try and get as many as I can done, though. And I have some really, what I think are cool ideas for doing a quick setup for the city. I'm going to be taking I'm going to be taking a idea from Brickcraft. And the reason that I say that is he did a city display. Actually, he's still working on that particular city display, if I'm not mistaken. But he did a city display, and he did a lot of really basic trees, pine trees. And then he did a little fill with some other stuff around those pine trees. And the reason that I'm bringing him up is I want to use that particular technique that he used, because I loved how when he put them all together and kind of filled that mountain range, I thought that would be the perfect backdrop for the Christmas village, to build a whole bunch of those pine trees, flash in a few of the varieties of pine trees that I like to build and design myself. but make it predominantly those, and then have that as the backdrop for the Lego Winter Village display. And I think that'll just look freaking awesome. So that's kind of my idea. And I do have a bunch of parts on order for that already. And thank you so much, Rob. He says, make sure you guys hit that like button. And our Claxton is also saying, Paul Rat, Paul Rat, Paul Rat, trying to call out the Paul Rat. My resident person that likes to pick at me. But Paul Rat is not Paul Rat anymore. That was what he used to call himself. He now, did I do that backwards? No, I didn't. And he now is Master Chief is his new name. So he doesn't, I don't know if he still answers to Paul Rat, because that's what we all took or called him for so long. But I don't know that he, I guess I'm trying to say is his name when you see him is not Paul Rat anymore. We'll put that there. Oh, absolutely, Aaron. He says, taking your time is the key. I definitely agree with you, my friend. And hey-oh, Nerd Brick. Just to show you guys, though, because, again, I shouldn't say I am in a rush. I would like to get this done before Christmas, but if not, it's not a big deal. But, like, this is the one that I finished, because I had some time this morning. And this was the building that I finished this morning. This is 2012. If I remember correctly, Santa's Visit is, I believe, the name of this particular set. But this is one of the mini sets, the Christmas Village sets that I've been working on. And I do already have it fully finished with the roof on both sides. So this building is done. I have 4 of the Winter Village buildings actually completed now. What I have to do, though, is I have to still make the videos and post them. I have a bunch of footage already. I just need to conglomerate that footage and get some videos posted, because right now I only have 2 of the Winter Village videos posted, even though I have 4 of the buildings actually done. Paul Rott does have a new job. He got a new job part-time, correct me if I'm wrong, at Bricks and Minifigs factory or whatever, the store, by him, is what he had texted me anyway. And I thought that was very cool. Nerd Brick says, how's it going? Got anything? I'm sorry. Did I get anything today? Yes, I bought that's what we were just talking about at the beginning of the stream. I bought the new Eiffel Tower set. And it is crazy. It is almost 2023. Isn't it insane how time flies? And, okay. I am trying to, okay, I think I got it down. I don't know, everything just seems to go by. Wait, do I have to do this a couple times? Yes, I do. I have to do it twice. It just seems like every year that I get a little older, everything seems to go a little faster, time-wise anyway. I don't know if everybody feels that way, but I know I personally feel like every year time goes a little quicker, but maybe that's just because I know I'm getting closer to the other end of the spectrum, and that's why we got to try and enjoy the time we have here, because it does not last long. Hello, Roush Brick. How you doing, Nerd Brick? Says he's almost done, halfway done with his contract. I'm very happy. That's awesome, Nerd Brick. R. Claxton says he's driving plus bricks and minifigs. Yes. The driving thing was, because he was working, his ears are probably ringing because we're talking about him. He was working at Hobby Lobby, was the last time I had talked to him, and he said that the pay and all that really wasn't what he hoped it would be, and that he would actually make more money doing the Uber stuff that he does. So he went back to doing the Uber, because then he can kind of write his own hours and all that. And he said for a part-time gig, so he can get a discount on parts and minifigs and all that stuff, he got the job with the bricks and minifig place. And yes, getting old does suck. Like I said, but you know, it's what I always tell everybody at work, is getting old isn't for sissies. So the older you get, the closer to the grave you are, unfortunately. But that is all part of life. We all have to learn to It's either love it, leave it, or die. You know what I mean? It's you got to keep going with the flow. Got to enjoy the time that we have because the time that we have is very limited and special. And I feel the need, there it is. But I can always understand why, like especially like even Paul would want to get another job just to support his, we all call it a hobby, but it's more like a habit. I feel like Lego is more of a habit than a hobby. And the reason I say that is it's so addictive. It costs so much money. And it's like tonight for my live stream, I contemplated whether I should even bother doing one tonight because I know most people, you know, yesterday being Thanksgiving here in the United States anyway, I know a lot of countries don't necessarily celebrate it, but I figured a lot of people probably wouldn't be on because I know a lot of people go out and they do their shopping and all that, especially with yesterday being Thanksgiving. Everybody had the family time and dinner time and all that good stuff. But I thought, what the heck, I'll get on here for at least an hour and try and build a set real quick and just see who does chime in or pop up, and we'll take what we can get. Hey, Jeremy Fee, how you doing? And thank you so much. He says, what a great set, and I can't wait to mock it up and finish it off. I'm gonna see if I can try, and as I'm building it, to try, cause usually for me when I'm trying to mock up a set, and Brick Sargent, how the heck are you, buddy? And I did have a great Thanksgiving, and I hope you did too, my friend. And thank you for being a member for 23 months. But what I was going to say, what did I do there? Oh, I totally lost my train of thought and just had a brain cramp. I agree with you, Jeremy. It would definitely be nice if Lego didn't cost so much. And part of that problem, you know, it's funny that you say that because I was kind of thinking this today. Lego, because they raised their prices on a lot of things last year, twice, quite a bit. Way more than I feel like they should. And I find it kind of funny because I have to say, for before Christmas, as far as sales go, there's always been Lego sales, don't get me wrong. There always has and always will be Lego sales for, you know, brick or for Black Friday and just moving towards Christmas in general. But I feel like there is more Lego sets and stuff on sale this year than I have ever seen. Because on top of the fact of all the different stuff you see going on with Walmart right now, you have Target, you have Amazon and everybody else with a lot of sets on 30 or more % off. And something that I was absolutely shocked about, today I posted in community tabs this particular sale, and if I remember correctly, it's through Walmart. I would recommend checking out my community tabs if you didn't see it. But the newest modular building, we know there's a new modular building coming out in January, but the current modular building, the corner hotel, that I've never ever seen those until they're discontinuing them, have a clearance price. And through Walmart right now, that's $30 off. And I think, this is what's kind of bringing me to my point of my topic here. I think that Lego is starting to realize that maybe we're screwed because even they have a ton of stuff on clearance on their website. And I'm thinking that Lego might be starting to realize that, maybe we raised prices too much, because from a lot of the different store managers that I've talked to for different Lego stores and everything else, sales have really been sucking this year for Lego. And I think they're going to start finding out they're going to be getting in trouble soon. And I think that's part of the reason why you're seeing a lot more sets that are clearanced than you would. Here's the thing though, a lot of the price increases are basically what the sets are on sale for. So it's not like you're really getting a deal like we used to do. It's just you're getting the price of what it was the prior year before they did their price gouging of August. But I still think you're going to see a lot more. I think after Christmas, you're going to see even bigger bargains. I don't want to say it's a guarantee, but just from the market that I've seen, from people that I've talked to, from the lack in sales that I have been hearing Lego has been experiencing, I think come January, when Christmas is over, everybody's got their counts in, and they start talking about the sales for the year, I think you're going to hear some really bad sales for Lego this year. And I think once you start hearing these reports come January, you're going to see a lot of really good after Christmas deals on Lego sets. Just a hunch, but that's something that I feel anyway. Jeremy says, Bevanation. And I agree with you, Nerd Brick, and with Jeremy both. I've personally, I do more online shopping than I do anything myself, and it's easier. And some of the shopping that I did online, it was actually cheaper than sales that they're having in stores, to be perfectly honest. They're making it easier for you to get stuff without having to leave your house. So, some benefit to that, because I swear to God, people are absolutely freaking nuts in the stores these days, and I would prefer not to go out to them. I think it's calmed down some compared to years past, but people are still, I don't know, people are, just seem to be more crazy today than ever. And you're absolutely, and Jeremy agrees with me. He was saying that, it's funny because, I guess what's funny to me about it is because I remember seeing some of the set prices before they did the price hike of August, and I'm looking at them, and it's like, okay, well, it is technically 30% off, so it isn't a bad sale price, but it's really right within range. And thank you so much, Brick Sergeant, for the $5 donation. It's really right within range of what they were before they raised prices, but it's like, well, I didn't have it before, and I wasn't going to buy it when the current price raised, and it's like, I guess I'll buy this and that, and I'm just kind of throwing stuff to add to the collection. Something else I bought today, because these are on Walmart, is the wildlife sets. Those are, I wouldn't say they're clearance, they're 30% off, but to me, that's going to be a set for people that are interested in collecting for the aspect of reinvesting, I guess you could say, for holding on to them and making a little money. The wildlife sets, I think, are going to be one of those sets that really takes off cost-wise. And the reason that I say that is the last set that they offered elephants in, it was discontinued. And once it discontinued, the prices went through the roof, because that was the only set they ever had elephants in, where the new wildlife sets now have elephants again. And as long as they don't make that new elephant mold a very common, something that happens all the time mold, I think that's going to be another one of those sets that just takes right off. And that was part of the reason why I bought each one of the wildlife sets, was just so I could have those elephants. Because, I mean, the reality is the sets themselves really aren't that impressive, but I really wanted that elephant mold. And just in case, because I don't remember if I said it or not, thank you again so much, Brick Sergeant, for that donation. Hello, Mitch Oken. I hope you're doing well. And yes, that is another very good point, Jeremy Fee. He was saying that those wildlife sets would also be great for doing a zoo, because that's another type of build that I always think I want to do it, and then I never get around to it. It's one of those types of things, but he's absolutely correct. That would be, because not only does it come with the elephants, there's also a lioness, a lion, and several monkeys, if I'm not mistaken, are included in that set as well, or both those sets as well. So a good zoo display, that would definitely make a very, very good zoo display. You are 100% correct, my friend. Mitch was saying that his winter village is his first attempt at mocking up his own village, and he feels like he keeps seeing other folks like myself come up with more and more ideas. It's funny because, and I know I made that video not that long ago, showing, because I have every one of them that was ever made. Uh, and I think it's funny because over the years, I had a bunch of ideas originally of how I was wanting to do it, but I never did any of them. And now that I'm finally going to put them together, because I did have a few together, and what it was is we used to have a small table. It was built into the wall. It was a cabinet, actually, right off our formal dining room in my last house. But we had that little, we'll call it a nook for lack of a better term. Um, and we used to set up just a small Lego display there, and it was the Christmas Village sets that I already had built. And my goal was to always build something bigger just to put underneath the Christmas tree. And I never did it. And even though every year I continually buy the sets, I never did it. But finally, I'm doing it this year, and I have made it a goal of mine that I am going to build every single one of these sets that I have. So if I don't do nothing else before the end of the year, that is my 100% goal, is to build all of these Winter Village sets this year, so I don't have any more left. And I'm hoping I'm going to get to that. And in the process of it, I plan on mocking them up, because to me, that I just never liked how they looked without the completed backs. And I understand, because a lot of people always say they don't understand why would they even sell a set that way, and it's really because most people, in the reality of it is anyway, and actually, did I put the wrong part on that? I did. Now that I'm looking, yep, I did. Um, to me, not only is it the playability factor, so kids could actually take it, play with it, look in the back of it, and all that good stuff, but it's also to keep the cost of the set down, because the average Lego Winter Village set is anywhere from 700 to 1,000 pieces, and just imagine if they enclose the back, the part count's going to pretty much double, which is going to send the price of the sets skyrocketing, and Lego already knows they're charging too much, so they're trying to keep the costs down. So that's why I think they still keep them dollhouse style, because it's for those that really want them to be completed and closed sets. They know that people can buy two of them and simply close them in themselves. Mitch was saying he actually modified my Daryl's track placement video to get half circles into the Lego Village. That's awesome. Glad to hear that got put to use. Yes, that is a big problem for most people, Mitch, is, and hey, Steve, how are you, buddy? And hello, Adrahan. But that is a big problem for most people. I mean, that's really a problem for everybody, is not having enough space in general. But the fact of not having enough, because you do need a lot of space in order to be able to set up a track, any type of track, whether it be the monorail track, the train track, whatever. But that is a problem for most, is being able to have the space to set up the track. And I totally understand why a lot of people complain about that. But I mean, it is what it is. If you want to do train tracks, you got, because Lego's track, honestly, the angle of their curves is really too small. It's too sharp. But because Lego tries to keep everything compact and make it in a way that most people, even with a very small amount of space, could still try and possibly have a Lego city with a train. They try to keep everything as small as possible. And so I get why they've designed stuff the way they have, but I really wish they would come out with like Trix Bricks. Has a variety of different angles. And with that variety of angles, you can actually do a whole lot more for a train display. I know Lego will never change what they have, and I get it, I understand. But I really wish they would come out with a bigger variety. They don't, unfortunately, tend to really care what the train community is interested in as far as Lego goes. And I wish that they would change the thought process and mentality of the train community. But Lego has their own guidelines and thoughts and processes, but luckily there are companies like Trix Bricks that's willing to uh, break that barrier and help people be able to, and there we go, and to help people be able to still buy the things that they would really like to see when it comes to train track and things of that nature. And hey, Janet Lutter, how are you? Audrahan says Lego barn is the way to go. Yes, the problem with Lego barns, though, don't get me wrong, I don't regret it. I love my barn, but I can't complain about my barn at all. What I was going to say, though, is quite simply this. Unfortunately, we've had such a drastic inflation here recently that even though having a barn, in my opinion, is the cheapest and easiest way to accommodate a large amount of space, you do have to, number one, have property, which a lot of people don't. But number two, with all the inflation, the cost of building this particular structure has probably about doubled. I'm very fortunate and very thankful I was able to build this before everything that happened, because if I was to try and have to build this now, I don't think that I could have afforded to build this now. I was very fortunate in the aspect of, quite simply, I built at the right time, because, like I said, if I had to do it now, it would not happen. It would not happen at all. I wouldn't be able to afford it. I would have to, because it's the costs of lumber, and even though they've come down, they're still pretty high, and all those costs just absolutely kill for people to try and build stuff. So I'm hoping we will see some type of downturn at some point to make things a lot more affordable for the masses as a whole, I guess is the way or what I'm trying to get at, because the way things are right now, I don't think pretty much anybody could afford to try and have anything fun or anything like that if they wanted to try and build a larger space. And I laugh because I still see people building houses and stuff. Mind you, it's slowed way down, but the houses that I see being built, though, I just think, holy crap, I can't imagine what the cost was. And keep in mind, when I did my barn, because I know a lot of people that are new to my channel don't understand that or don't get that. I am a tradesman, and I did a lot of the work myself, so that helped keep the cost down by itself alone. And because a lot of people always just assume things, or just think that I just plunked down some money and somebody built it for me, and that's couldn't be further from the truth. I did build this. I paid someone to do the structure, and then I did all the finish work, the electrical, the drywall, the painting, everything. And that is the reason I was able to afford it. But like I said, though, with the inflation and everything, I know, like for example, just my wiring, because I am an electrician by trade, so I keep kind of an eye because I have to, because I still buy the stuff. But just the wire that's in my walls. When I built this barn, I could get 250 feet of it for 36 bucks. You go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever to buy Romex cable to wire up a building now, and that same 250 foot reel of Romex number 12 is $156. So that would prevent a lot of people from doing a lot of things right now. Jeremy Fee says I built my barn at the right time. Yes, I did, because I finished it right before all the insanity happened. And I'm so thankful I did. And by the way, hello, Kenneth Swan. Just trying to catch up on comments, guys. Michael says they're doing a second Thanksgiving dinner. That's what we did at our house today, because we had Thanksgiving dinner yesterday. And then we had Thanksgiving dinner again last night before we went to bed, basically. Then we had Thanksgiving dinner again today for dinner. I say we would probably still have a good minimum of 2 days or more of leftovers if we don't eat them again for dinner tomorrow. But it's definitely a lot of turkey and ham dinners at my house for the next few days, just trying to go through all the leftovers that we had. I think that is such an awesome sleigh. Although I need to build the full-size sleigh. That is a very awesome sleigh. I forgot to put the dude together at the beginning. But to me, that's what we do every year. And that was something else we did yesterday because, you know, I thought I had brought the ladder in the house because I had to change some of my lights out. Mind you, my house, my ceiling, the main ceiling in my house is insane. It's 21 foot to the peak, but it's vaulted. So, but anyway, I had to change some lamps out in my chandelier and whatnot, and I had my ladder in the house because I was trying to get everything put together. And I thought, you know what? While we were doing that, we were like, heck with it, because I got to bring the ladder in the house to put our tree up because our Christmas tree is a 12-foot tree. So we just said heck with it, and we ended up putting up the Christmas tree and everything yesterday, even while we were having Thanksgiving, just to kind of simplify things. And I'm really glad I did because now I know I don't have to bring the ladder back in the house until I put take the tree down anyway. Ham sandwiches for lunch. Yes, absolutely. Gotta love some. Which actually, what we do with our ham leftovers, and it was funny because I think my wife found the recipe for this because everybody always has a ton of leftovers, obviously, after Thanksgiving. We always do a turkey and a ham. So we have a bunch of both. We usually get a smaller turkey because not everybody likes turkey, but we always get a really big ham. And I'm going to say it was every bit of 10 or more years ago. We were trying to figure out, because we had so many leftovers, what to do with them all. And at that point in time, for anybody that is a food lover, you'll know this name, which is Paula Deen. Had a lot of different recipes out where people could see them. And we found a recipe for ham and potato soup. And oh my God, we used her recipe, and we always typically, like I said again, we get a very large ham, so we have tons and tons of leftovers, but we used that recipe and made, with the leftovers, potato and ham soup. And now every year that's such a tradition. We'll have Thanksgiving dinner, we'll have leftovers for a day or two, and then we take the rest of the ham and we make potato and ham soup. And then we'll eat potato and ham soup for 2 days. So if you ever want to know what you can do with your leftovers, I really recommend looking up Paula Deen's potato and ham soup recipe because it is to freaking die for. That has been a yearly tradition of ours ever since we found that particular recipe. But if you look it up and look for the ingredients and try it, I guarantee you will not be disappointed. And we will even use that recipe just in the middle of summer for something to do. The wife will go buy a small ham or something from Walmart or Meijer or whatever grocery store she wants. Bring it home just for the point of dicing it up and making that potato and ham soup. And we'll usually have it a couple times a year now, but we always have it right after Thanksgiving as well, and Christmas. Our Claxton says, alrighty, Daryl, you being like Mike Fuji being forgetful. I am forgetful. I'll be the first to remember or first to say that. I am always late. And I see what you're saying now. Because Mike is late and I'm late. Because I was late starting. Now that's, you know what, Joseph? That's something we haven't done in a long time. But you're absolutely right. If you want a really good, I don't like split peas, so that's not something I will do, but beans and ham. If you like bean and ham soup, that's another great way to use up the leftovers. And we've done that, because with that, I don't know what else the wife puts in it, but just real quickly, I think it's, I know it's obviously ham, but I think it's navy beans, and just basically slap it together and you have a meal. But whatever she does, it's always wow. To me, it tastes the best thing in the world. You know what I mean? But that's something we actually haven't done in a while. I might have to recommend that because we haven't had the bean and ham soup in a very long time. But that is something. It is another really good way to eat it. You are absolutely correct, my friend. And bear with me while I am trying to follow my constructions. Doodle-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Trying to kind of fly through it a little bit. One thing I was kind of debating was possibly trying to mock it up a little bit, but I need to get a little taller before I start thinking about how I'm going to mock it and if I'll even have the parts available to mock it the way that I would want to do it. But I really feel like it would be easier to mock it. And that was what I was trying to talk about earlier, and I totally forgot. I think it would be easier to mock up a building if you physically started. Why doesn't that look? Oh, that's why. If you physically started right from the beginning like I am right now, but the problem with it is I like to see the completed structure before I start mocking something up. And that needs to go back one. The reason I say that is because once I see a completed building, it's easier for me to gauge what would look right and what wouldn't look right for mocking it up. Where if you were trying to, like right now, if I was to just start going ahead and building bigger, I don't know that it would look exactly right because I don't know how everything functions and fixes together, you know what I mean? Error 404, I always read my chat. And hello to you. And Kenneth Swan says, adding some green food coloring to the ham and having green eggs and ham for kids is great. You know, we never did that, but you are right, that would be awesome for kids. Something we did used to do for our kids, though, that they absolutely loved and still remember to this day, is instead of finger paints, you know, every kid loves to finger paint. What my wife used to do is she would go buy white pudding, you know, the little pudding cups that you could get. Pudding, you know. And block this guy, thank you guys. But we'd get the white pudding, and then she'd take food coloring and dab a little food coloring in, you know, she'd take it and separate it into like 8 little cups, and then she'd take food coloring and sprinkle it in each one of them. And then that way, the reason she did that was so they could finger paint, and we'd get these big sheets of paper and they'd finger paint all over it. But you know how kids are, when they're doing finger paints and such, they always want to stick their hands in their mouths as they're doing it. And with them doing that, you didn't have to worry about it because the paints that they were using were edible. So, but that was something that our kids absolutely freaking loved, and like I said, they still remember to this day, is that they used to finger paint, and they could eat the finger paint, and it's because it was pudding. And yes, I agree, Rosh. I don't want to mock it up too soon. I feel it'd mess up the flow of the building. And that's why I am definitely not going to do it. I'm going to, at least I want to, because for me, like with the build that I showed at the beginning of the stream, because that is, I believe that was Santa's Visit is the name of that. I might be wrong on that, but that building, what a lot of it, and Brett, how the heck are you, buddy? And don't forget to get a hold of me. I still haven't heard from you what you wanted from the last stream, my friend. If you wanted anything at all, but again, email me, Instagram me, whatever you got to do. And thank you so much for the $20 donation, dude. You are freaking awesome. I really appreciate that, Brett. Yes, and that's exactly why. That's what I was getting at, though. If I didn't see, like with the last building that I did, if I started mocking it up before I actually finished it, it wouldn't have looked right. And the reason I say that is because I needed to know what the roof distances and all that were. And if I had built the building out the way I thought I would have, because that particular, let me grab it just to show you kind of what I'm talking about. And hey, Eric, or Bricklock, I should say, how you doing, buddy? Because this particular one right here, this is the last one I did. And hello, Zoo, how are you doing? But this is the one that I actually finished this earlier today. And to me, it turned out awesome. This is the back side of it. But had I not known what the dimensions of the actual roof and stuff were, I wouldn't have known how far to bring the back out. And that's what was cool about this particular Winter Village building, is this is the actual size of the actual set. I did not have to increase its size at all. The only thing I had to do to it is I had to build this back portion of the roof, and I had to add roof space on here. And then the walls already came back to this point, so I just filled in the space in those walls. And it turned out beautifully. And I even left the light feature inside for the fireplace. But this really turned out good. And if I had started mocking it up before I had built it, I probably would have extended the size of the building, and I don't think it would have looked that good. So that's a prime example of why you should always build the set first before trying to mock it up, because otherwise you might get some really screwy proportions. And thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. He says that blue building looks amazing. And that blue building, I'm trying to see, it's 2009, 10, 11. That was the 2012 Lego Christmas Village set. And then I just modified it so that way it was a finished building. And thank you, Kenneth. But again, all that building was, it was just a matter of basically just mimicked the front half of the roof onto the back half of the building, and then just filled in the first floor. And that was the easiest one of the buildings that I've done so far, as far as finishing them off anyway. That has to be the easiest build so far. Hey DJ, how are you? And you know, I'm looking at these Lego instructions and I'm thinking, because those of you that may or may not know, I do design my own builds and I make instructions and sell them. And typically when I'm doing my instructions, I will put no more than 6 pieces on a page. And as I'm sitting here building this set and talking to you guys, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, they do way more than 6 pieces on these. So maybe I should, you know what, is Papa's Bricks here? Because he was building one of my buildings tonight, as a matter of fact, and I was kind of curious on his opinion. Is it easy or is it difficult? But I'm wondering if I'm making my instructions that I sell too easy by minimizing how many pieces are on it, because comparing it to this Lego set that I'm building right now, I have way less parts per page than they do. And I think because my instructions take forever and they're huge. And part of the reason they take forever is because I minimize how many pieces I put per page. And I'm wondering if I should change that up and start putting more pieces per page. Norbs, I hope I'm saying that correct, says, hello, any plans to put your Winter Village mock on Rebookable after you meet your goal of getting them done by Christmas? Yes, I do plan on, because I've been already getting asked by a ton of people if I would be willing to post the instructions, and yes, I do intend on doing it. The thing I can tell you though, and that's what I was just kind of talking about, is they take so long to do. These buildings really wouldn't take that long because they're actually fairly small. But most of the stuff I do, it takes a very long time to do. So, but the short answer, yes, I do intend on doing it. When will I do it? I don't know. I don't think they would be available before Christmas. Well, I shouldn't say I don't think. I know they won't be available before Christmas this year. But I do intend. And what did I mess up? No, I didn't. Let's see. 1 second. Nope, just trying to get ahead of myself, so I don't need that piece yet. Okay. I do fully intend, though, on making instructions for each and every one of these buildings, because I've been having a lot of people ask me that exact question, and I figure with as many people that are asking that, there must be a lot of people interested in it, so I fully intend on making instructions available for everybody, for anybody that's interested in possibly trying to put or build the buildings the way I did it. And keep in mind, most of the stuff that I've done, I have an insane amount of parts behind me, and I am fully aware of that. But most of the stuff that I've done, most of it is fairly common parts. So it would be reasonably cheap to do for anybody if you have to buy them. But for me, I've been trying to only use what I already own And I have 2 buildings now I know I have to order just a couple pieces for, but the majority of what I've done it with only the pieces that I've owned, and it's really been a fun experience because the buildings are so small, it's kind of easy. If you have a decent parts supply, I think you'd be surprised how little you would really have to order in order to copy and do them. But typically, every one of these, if you had 2 of each one of the sets, you already have enough pieces. You wouldn't need any more in any way, shape, or form. Claxton says he built the. Oh, you're building? Oh, Eric's building the Bevan's Bricks train shed. Are you really, dude? That thing's huge. Don't get me wrong, I like it. It was mine, but that thing is huge. Mitch says he finds it interesting when they decide to do it just 3 pieces versus doing 20 of a repeat pattern or whatever. I think they do a lot for things like floor tiling. Yeah, I think a lot of it is quite simply, if it looks like it would be something that's not easily seen or it could be confused quickly, is when they kind of, because there are pages where it's like, okay, 2 parts, and it's like, okay, why the heck are you doing that little? So I think it does depend on the parts, but then they do also include, like in their instructions, little things like this, where they'll have a little arrow showing you that those, because they got a lot here, but then they got arrows showing you every little thing that you're supposed to be doing. So, oh, it's the blue brick train shed. Okay. And say, for anybody that ever has any questions, because people always ask me questions during my live streams in regards to off-brand Lego products and things like that. And it's like I always try to tell everybody, if you have any questions at all, and I still firmly believe this, Bricklock, Illinois, Eric, I hope you don't mind that I say your actual name, but he is my resident Flago, as Paul Rat would say, expert. So if you ever have any questions, because Eric has built, or Bricklock, Illinois, has built tons and tons and tons of off-brand Lego products, and like Blue Bricks is one of his favorites, and I still personally want to buy some of theirs at some point in the future. I just personally haven't yet, but he has built so many different off-brand sets that if you want any input or information about them, Eric is definitely the man to ask, because he is an expert, and he has shown me several of the builds that he's done over the years, and I have to say, I'm pretty freaking impressed with the quality that he's shown me. And why is because I didn't put a plate underneath it. So if I was going to buy something, it would be because he told me you can. Okay, I wasn't sure if you minded or not, and thank you, Eric, for clarifying that it's okay. And how are you doing, Big Nate Bricks? Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I need a 1x4. But like I said, though, Eric is my Flago expert. So for all those that usually ask the questions about the off-brand products, now is your time to ask, because he can tell you exactly whatever you want to know. And what is that? Is how many people have all the Winter Village sets, or at least say have half of them? I'm just curious. Or does anybody have these and you're just wanting to part them out? I can tell you that from what I've seen anyway, there's very few parts that are extremely hard to find. Mind you, I do own all the official sets, but I haven't come across anything that I consider to be highly rare that would make any of these expensive. So I don't know why a lot of these are so expensive on the secondhand market, except simply for the fact that you're paying because it's still a brand new set in the box that nobody's ever touched. Mitch was saying, I don't get how y'all managed to put aliases on here. I keep trying to change it from my full name and it never sticks. I'm trying to think what, because there's something more to it. Rob was saying he's working on getting them all now, talking about the Winter Village sets. DC Born, how do how do off-brand products get around the IP licensing issues? It depends on the company. Some of them are just, they're in China and they steal it and they don't care. But when you have companies, and that's why I said ask questions, because like Eric will tell you, Bricklock, Illinois, companies like Blue Bricks, they pay for licensing when they use licensed materials. Otherwise, they design it themselves. So there is no licensing issues, but they're an official company that actually has licensing in the whole 9 yards. They're not like a lot of this, what was the one company, and I think they still sell stuff, and I will not buy anything from theirs. But they always stole Lego's ideas. You can't do that. So if it's a legitimate company, there would not be any licensing issues. You don't have all the sets, Brick Sergeant? I'm sorry. Mitch was saying he almost has all the sets. If you count remade versions of single editions, I don't have the carousel in market. That's about it. The carousel, I don't know how hard, because I have it, but I'm not going to modify mine at all. But I don't know how hard that would be to part out. I think the hardest part about that carousel piece would be the fabric pieces on the roof. DJ says, I never thought of anything about buying those, but I'm really rethinking it and looking at some of those now because they look like really nice sets. The Roush Brick says, I only have 4, but would like to get them all. Again, though, I really think you could part a lot of these out fairly cheaply. So if you don't, if I could spit it out, I think one of the biggest issues, if you're somebody that hasn't bought them like I have, and I have them all, I think one of the biggest issues is honestly, like some of the minifigs are kind of rare, and there's some printed pieces and stickers and such that are some of it rare. Some of the buildings do use green frames, but see, that's the thing, is there's a lot of these sets that as I'm looking at it, at the time what they came out with the set, there was parts that were rare, but now they make them mass produced. So some of them really should not be as high as they are. Lepin, that's exactly who I was thinking of. Steve, thank you. Companies like Lepin I wouldn't buy from, never will buy from, and don't plan on buying from. That's your typical Chinese thievery companies. But companies like Blue Bricks are actually official companies. And that's why, because like with Blue Bricks, you don't see minifigs or anything like that. And it's quite simply, even Brick Loot, you won't see minifigs unless it's official Lego part and they've just reprinted on it. You're allowed to do that. So you're allowed to resell Lego products, but you're not allowed to make your own Lego products. And that was where the problem with Lepin is, because they'll copy the minifigs and everything. And, well, they finally got in trouble, and a bunch of them went to jail over all the stuff that they were doing. But that's a company I would never, ever, 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 ever support at all. And that is something to this day I want to kick myself, Eric, is that official carousel. I was going to buy it, and I forgot to. And they had a sale on it because they were discontinuing it, and it was $100 or something. It was a crazy sale. And when they did that sale, it sold out, and I never got it. And I was just dumbfounded by how much that set increased. Now I have the second carousel and I have the Winter Village carousel, but I don't have the original carousel. And like you said, it's that music box. And I still kick myself for not getting it. I really, 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 really wish I had bought that original set. At the time, my kids were a lot littler though, and it was just, man, at the time, that was an expensive set. But looking back, I really want to kill myself for not buying it when I could have, because I'll never own it now. I just, the price is just so ouch. It's like, you know what, I have 2 other carousels. I'm not that worried about getting it. I'd like it, but I'm not that worried about it. Maybe at some point they'll re-release it, because they have re-released other sets. I've been kind of surprised at that, and I've heard rumors of other sets possibly coming, but we will see. You never know with Lego. Some of the stuff that they re-release, I don't understand why, because it's like, to me, they weren't that popular to begin with, and then other stuff that they've re-released, I get it, but the market's not quite there or whatever, and I don't. Lego just they beat to the sound of their own drum. No problem at all. And hey, how you doing, Mayo? Eric was saying, let's see, that one little box is worth more than the original price of the set. Yeah, I know. That's why I said I really, really, really want to kick myself for not buying that. That is, if I ever, because people always ask what's one of my biggest regrets or things that I missed on Lego, and I have two things that I really, really regret not buying. One of them was the Santa Fe Lego train, back when they still had the 9-volt train tracks. I regret not getting into the 9-volt system stuff until recently, which again I have to thank Steve Weiser for that. But my other biggest regret is not buying that carousel. It just kills me that I did not buy it, and I look back and it's like, why didn't you just pull the trigger, you big idiot? But I didn't, so it is what it is. Hey Dale, how are you? And did I miss your comment, DJ? Not sure if I ever mentioned it, but after you built the displays, set like the Xmas set, how do you store it without losing pieces? What I would do once I get, because you're absolutely correct with, or it's a very good question, because this isn't something I intend on keeping out year round. What I generally will do is I will probably figure, well, let me step back for a minute. The sets that I already had, what I've always done is I just take Ziploc baggies. I'll put each building into a Ziploc baggie, and then I put them in a plastic bin. I don't care if they necessarily fall apart. It's not that big of a deal. They're in a Ziploc bag, so it's not like you're going to lose any parts, is how I had all these originally stored. And I just finally got them out of that, and I started to put them back together. What I will end up doing when I'm done with these is probably the exact same thing. Put them back in a Ziploc bag and throw them back in the plastic container that I have. It depends on how big I build it, as I'm not 100% sure how big I'm going to go. But I might go with cardboard boxes or something, just because once these are done, I don't want them to get too beat up. Being that they're all custom, I don't want to have to repair custom stuff, because sometimes you forget as you go along. But that is typically how I would do it, is I just put them in boxes or containers, whatever, and then move along. And Jeremy says the trick is you build a giant barn. That is definitely one way. See, these, because I have 3 buildings on my table now that are white. And even though I have LED lights in here, that's one of my fears, is with the amount of white that are on all these, is yellowing. So that's one of the reasons that I don't know if I would leave it out year round. I might, we'll see. Maybe, because I have talked about putting different displays underneath my table. Maybe I'll make one of those displays Christmas and I'll just leave it up. We'll see. But I'm going to try and keep this display kind of small. So we'll kind of gauge it as I go. I have no 100% direction of anything. I'm just kind of blowing with the wind right now and trying to basically go through my backlog of sets. I have so much stuff that I've never built. It's like, you know what? I need to get off my hump and start putting some of this crap together, because it's just, and I missed a row of studs. I need to start getting some of this together though, because I'm tired of looking at all the boxes. And my thought process is kind of this: if I can't start getting some of it together, I may end up listing some of it on my website for sale. If I do, though, I'll be the first to admit they won't be cheap. I'll be listing them at whatever the current market value is. But that's kind of what my goal is to kind of cut back on the amount of sets that I have in boxes. Not that it's necessarily a bad thing, and I have the storage space, so it's not that it's a big deal. It's just I feel like I bought all these for a reason, and I want to start enjoying them, and if I'm not going to enjoy them, I need to get rid of them and buy something that I will enjoy or that I will build, instead of just sitting at, staring at it all on my shelves. Kenneth Swan was saying he's a big space nut. Did I buy the original Space Explorer? Yes, I did. I had to buy two, maybe buy at least one more. Did you notice on my, for anybody that's not aware, on my community tabs, anytime I find what I consider to be a good deal, and there's still more I need to post, but kind of keep an eye out on my community tabs. And I don't know if you saw this or not, Kenneth, but because that spaceship that you're talking about, and that's why I bought it. It was half off at Walmart, and I got it just specifically for that reason, because I think that was a cool set, and obviously, because the original was from 1979, and it was, I remember it. I didn't own it as a kid, but I do remember it, and I thought I have to have that just because it's from my childhood. So yes, I do have that, and it's a very cool set, but again, I got it for 50 bucks because it was on sale for the Black Friday deals. And like the store by me, because it was one of those deals where you had to buy online, pick up in store, and the store by me sold out that day. But there were other places where it was still a bargain. But if you want to find, or if you want to keep up with all the posts that I do, just try and keep an eye out on my community tabs. Make sure you have your notifications turned on so that way you'll hear it if I post something there, because I have been posting a lot of different stuff there. And I've also, just to kind of throw this out there if anybody hasn't noticed, I do have an Instagram, and I have been trying to post stuff on there as well, little reels to kind of show and announce the different things that are available and deals and such. Because there's a lot of things that are for sale right now. It's kind of crazy how much stuff's for sale, but there is a lot that is on bargain deals right now. And I missed a bunch of comments. Mitch was saying the 4 carousel horses in the Winter Village sets are listed at least $20 each. They're not that special though. Hold on, let me look. At least I don't remember there being anything that special about those carousel horses. Let me see. Oh, I guess they are special, aren't they? They got a special printing on the head. See, everything else is mainly stickers though. I didn't realize there's only 2 horses on the carousel though. If you're talking about this carousel set, there's only 2 horses on it. You've got a horse on each side, and then you got a car in between. But I guess I can see why it would be rare. But to me, if you wanted to have this set, if that's an expensive part, they sell white Lego horses. I would just get a white Lego horse and not, you know what I mean, not do the printed piece on it, because it's not that big of a deal, in my opinion anyway. I mean, why do you have to have the printing? You could sticker it, I'm sure. But yes, yes, it is too. My website is, and I always forget to post that. And what just happened? I must have touched a button or something, guys. Hold on, because everything just glitched on my end. But my website URL is bevansbricks.com, and I'm trying to get everything to open back up. Like I said, I must have hit a wrong button. That was a very good sale, Bricklock. You're absolutely correct. Okay, Eric says he can see and hear me. That's the most important thing. Everything came back on except for this particular screen, and I don't know, for whatever reason, my chat window. Oh, that's what happened. It signed me out of chat. No, I don't want to restore it. There we go. Like I said, I must have hit a wrong button or something, because when I started typing, my screens all like shot up. Brick says there's a glitch in the matrix. But anyway, that's my website, bevansbricks.com. Very easy to remember. It's Paul Rott's fault. There you go. Mitch said he caused the ripple. But anyway, that's my URL for my website. It's just bevansbricks.com. That should take you right to it. I have my, really, if you look for me, I have Bevans Bricks TikTok, Bevans Bricks Instagram, Bevans Bricks YouTube. I have a Bevans Bricks website. Everything is Bevans Bricks. If you type up Bevans Bricks or Google search me, you will see a ton of different stuff come up. But again, for to go back to like the carousel set, I mean, it's really not, to me, and that's where some people get carried away, and I understand it, because, you know, some people want to have the original completed look of the set. Totally understand why people want to have that. I totally get why they want to have that. But if you're just looking to try and get the sets just because you think they look cool, why not try and cheapen it up a little bit? Because you don't have to be 100% original. You know what I mean? At least that's how I feel about it. I don't feel that it's something that's really necessary to spend all that money. And you can still buy a Lego parts, but it just not be that certain printed piece or that certain sticker or whatever, but it still looks just as nice. Because like I showed you, it's just a little bit of printing on the front face of the horse, and that's it. And if you put, like on camera right now with you guys watching me, if I put that horse next to a white horse, and thank you so much, TGIF, to you as well, Macro, and thank you so much for being a gold member. 27 months, dude, that is freaking awesome. But I mean, I'll grab one just to show you. I should have, I'm trying to think, where did I put my animals? I think they're over here. It's been so long since I've had to grab any. Okay, those are my small animals. I need big animals. I feel like I put them in a box somewhere. And that's the problem with when I don't use parts that often, I don't remember 100% where I put them all the time. Oh, they're there. So here's the thing. So let's just grab, let me look through my parts of horses. Let's grab the carousel again. So again, one more time, this is the official carousel set with the horses. And yes, the horse does have that printing on its head, but are you really going to notice that big of a difference if you use that horse over that horse? This is the standard cheap horse that you can get on Bricklink, and then that's the carousel horse. You can buy the gold piece for the guy, you know, the guy to sit on, and it's not that expensive of a part. Why pay so much money just for that little bit of printing when you can use a standard regular white horse that looks the same as this one for a lot less money? You know what I mean? Just, again, that's my 2 cents on it anyway. If you're not worried about it being 100% original. And it's definitely going to save you a couple bucks. And hey, how you doing, Beetle Jazz? Mitch Oakham was saying the same white horse, movable legs in white, but not the original paint, is about $8 on Rebrickable. I would just, so you're not saying that horse I just, oh, you said movable legs, so no. See, the legs on the original horse don't move. And exactly, Adrahan, you're not going to. No, it's absolutely not much of a difference, DJ. I mean, if I was to hold them and sit there and start comparing, I think there's a few different things. I think the mane's a little different and the tail's a little longer or whatever, but to most people, and that's what you got to realize, to most people are not going to know. And it's like if somebody comes to your house and sees this carousel, it's like, oh my God, that's so freaking cool. They're not even going to have a clue of what they're looking at. Now, if you're taking and making videos, yeah, some people, not everybody, some people will notice that particular factor, but you'd be surprised how few people will actually notice a lot of things. Or even if they did notice it, they're not going to realize it or catch it, because unless they're like trying to examine your collection, I guess would give you a good way to put it. So to me, it's just, it's not worth the struggle and the cost. Well, yes, I want to say tan horses are more common. Well, you know, and here's another thing that recently Lego changed the website. It used to be they had the bulk buying, the pick a brick online, but then they also had bricks and pieces. And Eric says, "Don't invite me over. I'll notice." Yeah, but you're different. You're like me. You're an anal tard. And what I mean by that is you're like me. You've been collecting since you were a kid, so it's a different story for me and you, Eric. But for the average person, though, no. And what was I gonna grab? I got up to grab something and I forgot what it was. Don't you hate? Oh, the reindeer. Do. But that was something I was going to point out, because it's like the Santa sleigh set. You know, this, which there's a bunch of these in that Santa sleigh set, which I believe Rob says he's building right now. And you could have bought a couple Santa sleigh sets, or you could have done like me back when they had Pick a Brick, which they have, or Bricks and Pieces. Now they have Pick a Brick, which has everything on it. But if you look through that website, I went out and I bought, I think it was 8 of the reindeer, so that way I could make a full set, because I wanted all the reindeer and I wanted to have a few extras. But I went and bought these, and these were, I think, $1.56, or was it $2? Or, 'cause I know you bought some too, I thought, Eric, online. But that's the cheapest way to go when they were, because you got to remember the mold on this is an expensive part too. So all the horses are going to be a little pricey, but when you start paying the premium is for the correct printing and all that stuff. But if the point I was getting at is, when a set comes out, a lot of times you'll find it's cheaper just to go on Lego, the Pick a Brick site, and buy those parts, as opposed to buying a lot of individual pieces. I'll guarantee you, if you go and look, okay, just to give you another example, that is nothing. That's if I remember correctly, this is 500 or 1,000. I don't remember. But that's nothing but the green windows, the dark green 1x2x3 windows. And a lot of people, because if you go on Bricklink, and if somebody wants to test me and check it, if you go on Bricklink, I want to say these average at like 60 to 75 or even more cents a piece. But these came directly from Lego. If you go to Lego's website, that window is only 16 cents a piece. So that's where you do have to learn that not everything that you buy on Bricklink is really the correct pricing. Sometimes it's just out of stock on Lego, and if you wait, it'll come back in stock. That green window is a common part that's in stock on Lego. And again, it's something like 16 cents to 20 cents a piece. But originally that was a very rare part. And it's kind of like the cafe corner. When that set first came out, I want to say that there's quite a few rare pieces on that building that aren't made anymore. But another thing that was actually extremely rare, because they never made it except on that set, was the sloped dark red roof pieces. And again, because if you go, I think it's changed now, but if you go, you know, here's a lot of my pink and my dark red, but if you go on the Pick a Brick website now, you can find this piece. It used to be to buy all the pieces to do this by itself for the cafe corner, just this piece, and I forget how many of them there are, but it was $70 just to buy that part. And this was just like a 10-cent part or 12-cent part on the Pick a Brick wall, or on the Pick a Brick online store. And you can go on there and buy it. But yet on Bricklink, you have the sellers that, oh, that was a rare part. It's not rare anymore, but that used to be a very rare part. And a lot of people still have it listed at that insanely, which the heck, I think it was here, at that insanely high, unimaginative price. So You really, really, really got to watch yourself when you're shopping on Bricklink. Lord of the Rings coming back. Oh man, that's good news. I did not know that. Audrey says, and they're going to have some really good horses with the portion. That's freaking awesome. I did not know they were bringing back Lord of the Rings sets. That is very, very, very good news to hear. And hey, how you doing, MJ? And MJ was saying it's just going to be Brickheads is what he had heard. I hope you're right. I really hope it is really hope it is Brickheads. I don't collect Brickheads personally, but I do hope it is Lord of the Rings. I really didn't buy a lot of it. Honestly, I don't think I bought any of the Lord of the Rings stuff. I kind of regret not buying it, but at the same time, Lego's been coming out with so many freaking sets anymore. Just like everybody, you kind of got to limit what you're going to buy and what you don't buy because you will go bankrupt trying to keep up with the release cycle of Lego. And there it is. At least I can't keep up with Lego anymore. They've gotten to where they release just way too many sets for me to keep up with their release cycles, especially with the costs going up so much. I'd love to have some though. Mitch was saying the Indiana Jones he thought was the big returning property. That I believe because, and I've heard a lot of different rumors with that. They are supposed to be coming, because they're coming back with the Indiana Jones 5. And my understanding is, because they're finally going to, that was one of Harrison Ford. I think it's funny because it's like Harrison Ford, every big movie he gets in now, it's like he wants to die. Because it's like, that was his agreement with Star Wars, is he'll only come back and do it again if they kill him, so that way they can't use him anymore. And that's what they did. They brought him back to Star Wars and they killed him. And now that was what I heard with Indiana Jones now as well, is he was only willing to come back if they kill him. And I guess they're going to kill him in this new Indiana Jones movie. I guess I kind of get it for his sake in the aspect of he just doesn't want to be asked to do the roles anymore, and he wants his character to die with him, I think is maybe his philosophy. Not really sure, but you know, it's his likeliness or whatever that's going to be used for the film. So I guess I get it. If he doesn't want anybody else to be Indiana Jones, I guess that's how you do it. You just tell him, hey, kill you. Doesn't matter. They'll pick somebody at a later date to probably do it anyway, but so be it, if that's what makes you happy, right? And that, there we go. Trying to get this coffee pot, teapot, there we go, onto the plate. Take care, Brick Sergeant. We will see you soon. Mitch says the Hobbit's going to break him. He's got to buy it all for his wife, though. DJ says, I'm hoping for the Lone Ranger or Western sets returning, but probably won't happen. I don't see that happening. I love the Lone Ranger sets. My only regret is I didn't buy more of them. I think I bought, it was like 4 or 5 of the, so it was like it had the little blue soldiers. I wish I had more. Again, it's like I always tell people, because I've always bought a lot, but I did have kids, and so I always had to curb my spending. Now that I'm older, and my kids are older, I'm more insane with my Lego purchasing, I guess would be a good way to put it, because I don't have to worry as much about trying to save money to pay for things for the kids or whatever. They're old enough that they're, starting to buy their own, I shouldn't say starting, they do buy their own clothes and things like that. Still live at home for, obvious help reasons, because it is a difficult world out there right now, but they do buy most of their own stuff now, so I don't have to spend what I used to spend on them, and I have more money for myself for my hobby. And why doesn't that seem right to me? doesn't. It's not right. How do they think? Give me 1 second, because they're telling me to do something here, and it's not possible for it to work. Unless there is a... Yes, there is. That's what I'm doing wrong there. I was looking at it backwards. So 6. I don't see how they can make it go that way, but I fingered it out. There we go. Much better. As I said, there has to be a way. They're showing it in the instructions. Silver Mine Shoot. Oh, I think is that what the troops are in? Because I loved, and you know what was funny? Is I honestly hardly paid anything for most of those sets because that movie was kind of a flop. So most people, let's see, what are these? Oh, this was just called the Calvary Builder set. So that's what I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of. So what was the other thing? Well, the other thing, and I only got 2 of, and then I got 1 of everything else. Because I got the carriage, I had the Lone Ranger Comanche Comanche thing, and then I had the bank and the sheriff station, and then I have the train. And that's all I see right in my face right now anyway, but I don't see the Silver Mine. Maybe I didn't buy that particular set. But these are the sets, I'm bringing them back over to the camera. These were the sets that I stocked up on, and I stocked up on them just because I wanted the soldiers. It was this guy here, and then this one, and I got this because I wanted the teepees, and then I also wanted the Indians. But these were the important sets to me. But I don't ever see them bringing that theme back. The Stagecoach is a very nice set. Yes, I love that set. But I don't ever see them bringing that back because that was such a horrible performing movie that I don't think you'll ever see any merchandise for it again. Now, if they came out with, say, another version of it with another actor and maybe the video or the movie did well, they might redo it. But to just re-release stuff with the current movie, I don't think you can ever expect to see that happen. Dusty Brick says, "Good day, Daryl. Why was I putting 2 R's in your name?" I never correct people on that, so I don't worry about it. But yes, my name is Daryl. But a lot of people, and that's why I never really care or get upset when people spell it wrong, because my spelling of my name is probably one of the least common ways to spell my name, which is the Daryl. The most common way to spell my name is Darrel or Darryl. It's usually got 2 R's, or sometimes I've even seen it 2 R's and 2 L's. But my way of spelling is not correct, and that's why, or I shouldn't say it's not correct, it's not common. And that's why I just don't share it or correct people on it. I figure as long as you at least can call me by my name, I'm not going to complain, because some people don't even get that part right. Audran says his hat is from that wave. Dusty Brick says, "Why would they bring that back when they can come up with video?" Yeah, I still don't understand. Video just, man, that was a very, very, very bad performing line. They just, it's like a lot of things Lego does anymore, though. They just are, I think their biggest problem is they're overpricing their market way too much. They're way overpricing their markets. And they're getting greedy, and I get it. They want to make money. They're in it to make money, but I feel that is a big problem for them, is they're way out pricing their stuff. And see, Kenneth, I am 100% with you, my friend. And it's like I've always told everybody, English is the only language I speak, but it is also the worst language for me to speak. I did very poorly with English. That was my worst subject in school. I'll be the first to admit I practically failed at English. I was so bad at it. English was not good for me. There's too many rules, too many things about it for me to have grasped it. And I don't even do a very good job of speaking it. And I am not shy to say that or tell people that. I'm not embarrassed by it. And that's why because I've had people try and correct me on my speech and such, and it's like, you know what? I am 50 years old, and if I haven't changed by now, you're not going to change me, so don't correct me. Because I'm not going to remember anyway. No problem, MJ. Take care, my friend. And Adrian says, it seems like they are having trouble sustaining the higher prices here. Most of the new cents have been 50% or more in Australia at some point. Wow. Ouch. See, that's crazy and I have seen that before with Australian prices. It's like, what the heck? Mitch says, I tell people I took French for 7 years in school. And why did I take French for 7 years? Because I kept failing French. Oh, I'm with you, man. I am right there with you. So I am picking up what you are laying down. I never took a foreign language, thank God. It was not a requirement for me when I went to school. I forget how it worked, but because I loved a lot of different things that they offered in vocational classes, I was able to do the vocational classes, and then I didn't have to take the foreign language, because I think that was the thing. If you didn't do VOTEC, you had to take a speech or a language class, and they did not require me to take a language class, so thank God I did not have to deal with that. Because if I did, I guarantee I would have failed it, like you said, and taken it 7 times. There's no doubt in my mind that I would have 100% failed that. But like I said, thank God, because when I was in school, I had auto body and auto mechanics, and I had that for my junior and my senior year, auto body and auto mechanics. And that's no worries, Mike. Mitch says, did I miss any other comments? Just trying to keep an eye. Okay, I think I'm caught up on comments. That goes this way. Am I right? Yes. There we go. And then that's going to go there. I wonder why they made it to where you can only flip it back and forth. Still cool, but I wonder why they kept it to where you couldn't spin it all the way around. We are almost done with this bag. Ken says he tries to spell how it sounds, and having a German mother doesn't help. Yeah, I could see where that would possibly be a little bit difficult. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Yeah, I could see where that would be very difficult, trying to spell how it sounds sometimes. But it's funny because I always did that, and my mom always said I was great at doing it, but the problem is I spelled it exactly how you would think it would sound, instead of remembering all the rules of I before E and, what's silent with here and what's there and blah, 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 do stuff. So either way, like I said, I've always sucked at the English language. It's the only language I speak, but I suck at speaking it. Sadly, sadly. And oh, okay. Yes, this is the bunkhouse. And I forgot, you're right. This does have it. The bunks flip out so that way all the elves fall down. You are 100% correct on that. And I did not think of that. And where the heck are the legs? Oh, they're there. I was gonna say, what I do with his legs? Papa's Bricks. How the heck are you, buddy? I am still on bag number 2, man. So I'm not that far in. I am on page 29 right now, if you're trying to figure out where I'm at. And trying to figure out what I'm doing is probably bad for you, to say the least. And put those there. That's kind of odd. Normally they would tell you to put that on before. Edrahan was saying he's curious how LEGO will go with the emerging economic conditions with less discretionary funds for buying optional things like LEGO. And I'm with you. I'm very curious about it too, because I think if they continue doing what they're doing, and again, this is just my own personal opinion, I think they're headed down a bad road. I feel like if they don't drop their prices a little bit, that they're going to be in a world of hurt. And that's just, that's my 2 cents. But did I forget? Oh, I didn't put the chocolate bar. That goes there. And I know I have that piece somewhere because I saw the stupid thing. Oh. I will worry about it later. I'm supposed to put a little piece of chocolate on top of that. If not, I know I have it in my containers. Actually, let me double check my bags real quick, because sometimes pieces do get stuck in the bag. But I mean, back to the topic of LEGO, I personally, I guess it might have even fallen off the back side of the table. I have so many extra parts up here from all the Christmas Village work I've been doing too, is part of my problem. I know I've never been shorted a Lego piece in my life, but there is a first time for everything. That or I used, making sure I didn't use it somewhere else. Nope. Nope. It's, like I said, I'm sure it's here somewhere. I will find it later. Oh, thank you, Dusty Bricks. The pinned link doesn't work? Well, you know what? Let's change that. There, now that's the pinned message. I think I did that right. Did I say? Nope, I didn't. I saved the wrong one. That's the one I wanted to pin. There it is. But again, thank you, Dusty. I appreciate that. And Joseph, hello, hello. Okay, Mitch was saying it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's what it is. So this is what you're actually turning, and that's what's going to trip the beds down. Okay, I get it. And correct me if I'm wrong, in this set, I think there's a chimney or something that goes here. And isn't it, you can put candy in it, and it shoots candy out the fireplace or some crap? I've never built it, so I don't 100% know, but I thought there was something fancy about the chimney too, if I remember correctly. And that's really going to bug me that I don't have that little piece of chocolate, even though I know I had to have it. It's more of my, that was something else I can tell you guys. As I've been building those Christmas sets, I have experienced a few casualties of war. And what I mean by that is because a couple of those sets use dark red colors, and because they're old, so there's some of my casualties of war from redoing some of my vintage sets. So I've had a few pieces break on me in the process. Dusty bricks. Here's my tip for you, and I don't think, where did I put it? I haven't used it in a while, so I know it's right here, but on Amazon there is a small eyeglass piece. And like I said, I haven't had to look it up in a while or use it in a while, so obviously I've misplaced it. But it's a small eyeglass piece that I bought off of Amazon, and I want to say it was in the neighborhood of about $5. But it does an amazing job. And it shouldn't have been that far away. And, oh, you know what? I took it with me to Brick Fair, so that it might be, it's not in my toolbox. I know where it's at then. It's probably on my nightstand, or on my dresser, I should say, or it's still in my suitcase. But it's just a small eyeglass piece. It's about yay round, but it's about that thick. It's beveled on one side and flat on the other. And the reason for it is you can physically just take it, set it on something, and roll it over it. It's to help you read for books and stuff. But I use it. I haven't used it in a while, but when I would use it, I would use it for finding Lego part numbers, because it just makes it jump right out at you. And that is the #1 tool, in my opinion, that I like to use when I am trying to struggle and read a part number. But another little tip I can tell you, a lot of times if you can find where the number's at, and let's see if I can do it real quick just to show you, is if you take your camera on your phone, just get kind of a close picture, snap the picture, and I think I grabbed the right corner. But after you snap the picture and you zoom it in, that'll help you find your part numbers also. And I would say I probably use my phone more for finding parts nowadays than anything. Because again, I can't see it even when I'm looking with the camera to take the picture. But once I take the picture and I zoom in, boom, the number's perfectly visible. So that is how I do a lot of things nowadays, because being an electrician, there's a lot of times that I'm working on something and I can't make out the number that's on a wire number or something like that. So I'll take a picture, pull it back, and then zoom in with my phone, and it's like, okay, now I know what the heck I'm looking at, and I can start ringing out, numbers and such. So the waffles piece, oh, okay, I got you. For the fireplace, it puts a pancake in and then stops it halfway, then the switch drops it to the pan and it flips it out. So that explains what this part of the build is then. It's because the fireplace is a pancake or waffle maker. Okay. And Joseph says he's been shorted a few pieces. Well, I'm thinking I was just shorted my chocolate piece because I can't find it. But my build space is such a pigsty, I hate to say that they've shorted me. And Dusty Brick says, thanks, Daryl. These are the tips that make your streams essential to watch. And thank you so much, Dusty. I appreciate it. And Al Whelan, hey, how are you? And happy belated Thanksgiving to you as well, my friend. You know, I was going to just say, too, is let's see if we can get the number off this waffle. I don't even know if there's a number in that. Let's see, I have the old man stream is what I have. Let's see if we can zoom in that number. Yep, it zoomed right in for us. 35381. Like I said, though, mind you, you want to have a good camera on your phone. I don't know that you can do that with every phone, but every phone that I've had over the last couple years anyway, I've been able to do that. Eric says, don't say that too loud. Paul Bot might hear you. I think he's probably busy driving right now. Aldran says his kitchen gets short of chocolate pieces when the kids are around. I'm actually lucky. I can't say that. My kids really don't like sweets. It's funny. They would rather have fruits and things like that. So I have to say I'm lucky in that aspect. They don't eat a lot of junk. He's working 2 jobs now. Macro is what the problem. He's actually been kind of jumping around from jobs, but currently he's working at Bricks and Minifigs, and then he also does his Uber. So he is still around. I talk to him every now and then. But like I said, he is still around. He's just, unfortunately, he's keeping the roads busy, I guess would be the best way to put it. Al Whelan says, doing really good. Been away for a while. Great to watch again, and so glad to see you, Al Whelan. I stopped streaming there for a while as well, though, so that definitely, you know, it isn't just your fault that you haven't been around. And thank you so much, Macro Bricks. TGIF to you as well, my friend. And thank you so much for that $10 donation. That was awesome of you, buddy. And again, don't forget to check out Macro Bricks, guys. He's got an awesome channel. And I know that's not why you donated, but I'm saying it anyway, buddy. And don't donate again just because I said it. Mitch was saying the fireplace is over a fire where they're making the waffles, pancakes, and whatever. Kenneth Swan says monocle would. That's what I have is a monocle. And like I said, it's killing me because I know that I should have it out here. I used to always keep it. I mean, literally, I used to keep it like right in hand's reach all the time. But I feel like because I went to Brick Fair, Virginia this year, and I feel like I took it with me. And I don't know why I would have took it with me, but I feel like I did. I thought I might have had it in my toolbox because now that I need, because when I went to Brick Fair, I had to do a bunch of soldering when I got there. And I thought I might have had that because sometimes I use that for looking at different things. And happy birthday to you, Bricktastic Lego Ideas. And you're welcome, Macro. And then DJ says Daryl would look good with a monocle. You know, I actually had, it was just a something for comedy skits and things like that. And I don't have any, I don't really think I have any of that close by, but I do have a monocle somewhere where you can put it there and then you squint your eye to hold it in place. But again, it was just, you know, kind of, and thank you, Dusty, for sharing his links as well. But again, it was for decoration. It's kind of like I have a Harry Potter tie and a Harry Potter scarf and other stuff like that too. But it's a lot of that is for, who is this Rick Fair everyone is talking about? Brick Fair, B-R-I-C-K Fair. That was the Lego show that I took my Avengers Tower to this past year in August. That is the really big show for Brick Fair. And then Brick World is what Macro went to last year, and I'm looking at possibly doing next year myself. And that's in Chicago. So I'm looking at possibly, those are 2 different Lego shows though, Brick Fair and Brick World. Whose birthday is it? Oh, well, oh yeah, Bricktastic, I'm sorry. How the heck could I forget that much, that fast? Anyway, I've been on for almost 2 hours, guys, so that's a long time for me. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here because I'm jabbering more than I'm building anyway. I will definitely stream again next Friday. If I can, I'll try and squeeze something in between there. But before I go, though, I always like to roll that beautiful beans footage. And let's, if I can remember how to cue it up. There it is. Takes me just a second. I love to make sure I give credit where credit is due, and that is for all the members. And my screen's going goofy on me again. Where's my widgets? I like to roll that beautiful bean footage, though, to give credit for all the people that have donated during the stream. And with that, I like to specifically read off their names. And so I want to give a very special thank you to Rob, which is R. Claxton, Axel. Oh my God, I don't think I saw Axel. Oh no, Axel did. I did acknowledge him. Okay. Brick Sargent, Brett Tucker, and Macro Bricks. And then members, Brick Sargent and Macro Bricks. I'm sorry, I had a panic attack there for a minute because I thought I didn't acknowledge Axel's donation, but yes, I did. It was the $1.99 donation. So just took me a second to remember. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys' support. I really appreciate you guys all coming and hanging out with me tonight, and I hope to see you again soon. So as always, thank you for coming to Bevan's Bricks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share below, and we'll see you next time on Bevan's Bricks. Everybody have a blessed day, and I hope you had a wonderful holiday. Take care.